Okay, Saber Mack, uh, we're just going to do a little interview about your friend Michael. And if you're kind of, tell us about Michael and how you knew him.
Okay. I met Michael a year ago through the Alberta Bear. I was uh, doing a show there, and he was a sound engineer and a light engineer. And I had spoken to him several times over the course of a few months on the phone and through email and text and all that kind of stuff, just getting things ready for my show. But didn't actually meet him until the day of my show. And he was just totally delightful. We worked really well together, and he made things calm and soothing and simple to kind of get through. But he, I, 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 I really thought that the Alberta Bear thing was a bucket list thing for me. But turns out God wanted me to meet Michael.
You guys kind of had an instant connection.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Even on the phone, we just knew how to. We could poke at each other, and it was okay. I'm not a nervous person when it comes to performing, but I will get a little anxious about how I think things are going to look or sound or whatever.
Mhm.
And he just put an ease over the whole day
Yeah.
and the whole evening. So
And
yeah.
he was a nice young man. You said he had moved to Montana,
Right.
and
From LA.
yeah.
He lived in Livingston for about 5 years, I believe it was first, and loved it up there because he likes to rock climb and fish and hike and camp and all that kind of stuff. And he had found his little piece of heaven, but he wasn't making the well, I shouldn't say he wasn't making the money. He was making pretty good money because you can make good money in Livingston at McDonald's basically, but he wasn't doing what was fulfilling him career wise. And he was into theater and music and all that kind of stuff. So when the Alberta Bear thing opened up, they gave him the job, and um, I ironically was the last act that he did at Alberta Bear.
Oh, and that's exactly why we're talking about him today, is because of the crime that happened to him. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that
Okay.
and how that's affected you?
Well, we conversed a few times through Facebook and Messenger and stuff after my performance. And I was, I'm kind of joking the whole time. Well, I sure hope they have me back next year. I'd love to make this an annual event. And he himself never disclosed to me that he was done at Alberta Bear. They had a miscommunication about something. And I was the last act, which I'm super grateful that I got to work with Michael. But um, anyway, he was very complimentary, and we had agreed to stay in touch. And then I'm on Facebook. I mean, Facebook's where everything happens these days. Um, and I read, because he's a friend of mine, it honed in on that, the algorithms or whatever. And it said, if somebody that I'm not friends with posted, I can't believe you're gone, Michael. I can't believe this happened. And I'm at my mom and dad's house, and I'm like, what? And I'm reading it over and over, and I went, oh my God, my friend Michael's gone. And so I reached out to the gal who posted it. I said, what is going on? Do I have the right Michael Duran? And she said, I don't know how to tell you this. And she sent me the link of what they are saying is a road rage incident that happened in downtown Billings on August 20th, 2022, where Michael sustained 9 gunshot wounds in broad daylight on 4th Avenue. And he, it's all on video. Q2's CCV camera caught it. And here we are, what is it, March 1st, 2023, and we still don't have, we do know that they know the name, obviously, of this person, but there's still no charges, no arrests, nothing. Um, they're planning to turn it over for a coroner's inquest. So I quickly went into mode of advocate for the family, because his family's all out in LA. And the day of my concert, I should back up, we had to go buy some equipment for my show. And as we're driving around, I asked him why Montana. And he loved her. He loved Montana, and I loved the way he talked about it. And he talked about it as it was of a female, and how she's a playground and so beautiful and all this, and that he had to get away from the crime and violence. And so every time I echo those words in my head from him, my heart breaks, because it's what took him in the state that he loves so much. You know,
It's a tragic irony.
Yes, it is. But it won't be, if I have anything to say about it, it won't be in vain. People won't soon forget who Michael was, and if we have to do something about a billboard or something against road rage, I'm guilty. I've been there. I've gotten angry before. I have, and stupid angry where I could have gotten myself shot. Being upset over somebody not driving as perfectly as I do. But it's forever changed, because anytime that happens now, there's Michael. It's not worth that. And watching him take his last breath there, and watching the video that he has no idea, but in just a few moments he's going to be on the other side, is really hard to watch. But the police department has that video, obviously, and the county attorney has it now, and they are turning it over for a coroner's inquest. And when I looked into the coroner's inquest, the definition of that, as a rule, it's not complete, but as a rule, is when they can't figure out how someone died. That's what a coroner's inquest is for. And the possibility that maybe they died at the hands of somebody else, maybe they can help figure that out. Well, we know how Michael died. And we know who shot the gun. What is the problem? What is the problem? I was able to obtain the full video, and I've watched it probably 10 times now, and you're watching it with you, Laura. It's like he had opportunities. He should have left. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The fact is, the guy stopped him in traffic. He got out, he approached, they were the aggressors, over and over and over and over again. Human nature kicks in, and we start to defend ourselves. And to me, it looked to me like he was trying to say, hey, all right, I made a mistake. Or maybe if you did this or you did that. He didn't know there was a gun at a fist fight.
Right.
Michael did not know that there was a gun at this fist fight.
Yeah.
Or he'd be alive today. He wouldn't have stuck around for that. He wasn't for violence and crime. He wasn't. So he's missed, like, tremendously. His sister just had a baby girl. I'm going to share this with you because I love you. But
Thank you.
Shortly after he passed, he came to me, and he said he's holding a tiny, tiny infant. And I don't know why, but I knew it was a little girl. And I'm thinking, wow, did you have a baby over there? What, there's so many different things. And his words were, this will help, Mom. And his sister hadn't told anybody yet, but she was pregnant. And she just gave birth to Michael's niece.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully, life comes and life goes, and hopefully it will help Sylvia, his mom. She's a sweetheart.
I'm assuming that they're in contact with you quite regularly.
Yeah.
How are they doing?
Well,
Are they
his
still?
brother is struggling big time, Anthony, and his one sister that just had the baby, she seems to be doing okay, but there's a new life, and that's a beautiful thing. It really is. His sister Jessica is struggling big time, but his mother is a warrior, and I'm so proud of her. I'm not so sure I could be as strong as she is, but we have formed this. It's a cheerleading team of sorts. We're wearing the same uniform, and whatever I can do for her, I will do to help the family. Hi. Okay, justice. Oh, okay, that's a broad word. The truth is, I don't want to wish anybody any harm or any ill will of something that they did or didn't, or that they didn't do. Um, but somebody did something wrong here. And so some type of punishment needs to be um, addressed as far as I'm concerned. And the fact that they haven't released any names, because there were two people involved in that car, and that they haven't don't have any charges. We're almost 8 months in. The 20th of this month, it'll be 8 months. And that, to me, there doesn't seem to be any urgency. Really bothers me, because it's impossible. I wrote this a little bit about this in the thing that you put in the paper for me before. The fact that we can't start to heal or grieve for Michael until something starts. Does that make any sense? It's like we can't get any closure until we feel like somebody has done something. And I understand that it takes time. They got to dot all the I's, they got to cross all the T's, and make sure there aren't any holes or glitches, because people have gotten off on that before. But I've learned a lot from a friend of mine out in North Dakota who is in law enforcement, and he said that if the county attorney's office doesn't believe with absolute certainty that they will win the case, they will not press charges. I find this unbelievable, because that means there's a lot of people walking free that did things that are horrendous, but there wasn't enough evidence or whatever to, reassure the county attorney's office that they could win the case. A good human being isn't here anymore because of a silly incident, and a family and friends are unable to grieve because it feels like nothing has happened. I know things have happened. It's just we can't get any answers. We're being kind of held in the dark somewhat. Any information we've obtained so far has been because we've gone after it. The thing that bothered me a lot about how this has gone on is that if I worked for the Billings Police Department, and I don't, but if I did, and I was in charge of that case, I would call that family 2-3 times a week and say, we're not much further than we were last week. I want you to know we're still working on it. Michael's right up there at the top. We're working on this. It's just going to take some time.
He's
Reassurance. He is not forgotten, And we haven't had that one iota, not at all. Everything we've gotten, we've forced them to basically give us, and it just shouldn't be that way. Not when Michael is not the guilty one. He's dead. He's gone. So, okay, we don't have any guilty parties right now, but if someone's dead at the hands of somebody else, then something went very wrong, and it just shouldn't take this long, especially if it's on video. It's on video, and there were eyewitnesses, so it'll be interesting to see what the final report is. The final report from the Billings Police Department has been given to the county attorney's office. The county attorney's office is always taking more information, any type of evidence that might come up, and it goes through the police department, but the police department is done, basically, with the case. And the numbers are stifling. You pick up the paper or look on social media, whatever, and it seems like every day somebody's been shot or there's another suspicious death.
Right.
There was one yesterday. But this has been a spiritual journey for me. And I know it's far from over. It is. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about other people. And I've learned that when you think you're in a specific place at a specific time for a specific reason, chances are you're really not. I've said it earlier in this little dialogue that I thought it was for me, that it was, and it was for me, but it was a bucket list thing. But I was supposed to meet Michael, and Michael was supposed to meet me, and I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful for that point in time and how we connected and stuff. So, what else we got?
Well, we just won't want him to be forgotten, and hopefully justice will be done. And I know you'll be following it pretty closely, and if you have any updates or anything you want to share in
Absolutely.
the future, just let us know.
Absolutely.
And
you know I will.
maybe if people want to, they can light a candle for Michael.
I would love that very much. I would love that very much. Thank you, Laura.
You're very welcome.